Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for jumping into today's Tea Time with Taylor. I'm Taylor. Most of you know me. Hi, Jenna. Hi, Kim. Hi, Fred. Hi, Leanne. I am going to give it about 30 more seconds or so to see if some more attendees jump in before I really dive into the information here. But as an overview, today we will be reviewing new information regarding Performance Tracker X. So, for anyone who does not come to today's session, they will be emailed this session afterwards so they can review it. But essentially, we are rolling out a new feature that I am very excited to preview for you guys today. It's going to be a single sign-on feature for Performance Tracker X. So not only will it allow you the ability to log in and see all of your sales reporting, survey reporting, everything that you see in your dashboards, but you'll also be able to log in and manage your users from the back end now. As most of you know, any users that are live on Performance Tracker don't have the ability to manage their users in their dashboards right now. They always have to reach out to our support team if they want any changes made. Let's say Kim's adding a new arranger to her team, and she wants them to have access to Performance Tracker. And now you're going to be able to do that yourself, and you won't have to wait for the support team to be able to do it. And something I do want to make really clear throughout this presentation is that our support team is absolutely still here for you. This is not an either or situation. It's just more an additional means for you guys to get what you need within the platform, and really just empowering you guys to make those moves for your teams. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Today, like I said, what we're going to be reviewing is that new single sign-on feature. But before that, I do want to jump into some progress and innovation that was made within 2024. I really want to kind of give you guys your kudos and pat you on the back because we did a response rate initiative amongst all of our clients this year, trying to get response rates up. If you guys have organizations where you have a lower response rate, then I'm sure you've seen my monthly emails come out of, hey, this is your current email collection rate, there's your current mobile number collection rate, get those up, let's talk to your arrangers, let's do some training, whatever it is. If you have an organization that has over 30%, then you have not been receiving those because you guys are already in the green. But this year we had a record number of response rates so far. So I really want to dive into that a little. And then, like I said, mentioning the new feature, I will go through the entire preview with you guys of logging in. And this is what you guys are going to have to do in January for logging into the platform moving forward. This is definitely not the only time you will hear about it, but this is the first kind of introduction to it. And there will be some learning management videos that come along with it that you guys can share with your teams. I will have, white papers to help you in educating your teams about this change as well. So we'll go through that. And then what else to expect in 2025? So what is Performance Tracker X bringing to our clients next year? What can you guys expect from our teams, and how is this going to help you get closer to your CX goals and your business goals that you guys have in your organizations? So let's go ahead and dive in. Some progress and innovation that happened in 2024. Like I said, we had our response rate improvement initiative go out. So this was just me bothering you guys every month to get your response rates up. As most of you are probably aware, our average response rate every year falls somewhere between 25 to 35%. Last year, with having all of our companies finally on the newer platform of Performance Tracker, which is powered by Medallia. So some of you might know it as Medallia instead. Um, the response rates were not as great as they had been in the past when people were solely on paper. They weren't really mentioning the survey to families. So, me and my team on the engagement side have really spent this year trying to get you guys to educate your funeral directors and your cemetery service representatives, and making sure that they mention the survey to families, that they take the time when the family is thanking them for everything that they just provided to them, that they ask for that final touch point of, hey, if you could provide some feedback to my leadership team, it would really be great. And families are more than happy to provide that feedback, and really the proof is in the response rates, because my expertise, my experience within my career has been in customer experience, hospitality, and surveys. So I really have gotten down to that niche area of survey performance. And I will say, in other industries, and anyone who's been on a training with me has probably heard me say this before, but in other customer experience surveys that go out in other industries, typically anywhere between 5 to 10% response rate is what is expected or what is received. Whereas within the funeral and cemetery death care space, it really is just astronomically different in terms of response. So the goal that we have set in our dial in the dashboard is 40%. That's where you can see your organization will move into the green, quote unquote, on that dial, is when they hit 40%. But the minimum threshold that we require for being considered for an award at the end of the year is 30%. So 30 is really the goal that we want to see. And you can see the difference here. All of these arrows are up. This one's down because that's a good thing. Only 15 companies right now that are on Performance Tracker are below that 30% threshold. That's just huge, and cut more than in half from where you guys were at last year. I will say, you notice how the funeral and cemetery response, or I'm sorry, funeral and cremation response rates are much higher than that of cemetery. I'm not really sure why that is. I think that we definitely have more funeral companies on Performance Tracker right now than cemetery companies, but there's still a good enough amount that they should be engaged. So next year, I'm probably going to be focusing a lot on those cemetery organizations. I know I've got a few on the call here today, so you'll be hearing from me. But I do just want to say that's a huge improvement, still over 6%. So that's really great. And then email collection rate and phone number collection rate. Obviously, you can't get a response rate unless people are actually being delivered the survey, right? So you want to get as many emails and mobile numbers as possible. That way, the email invitation can be received by families, and then that text message invitation can be received by families. If and most of you are aware of this, if the digital outreaches fail, or there's that 50% of people who only have a physical address, then those families receive a paper survey instead, if your organization enables paper. Now, there is an extra cost for paper. There's definitely downsides to it in terms of the quickness of when you're going to receive feedback from the family, with postage and going through our third party provider and then being sent back to our corporate office for data input. That's a lot of time between when your family had their experience and when you're getting their feedback from them. So digital is really the best thing that's going to be for your data, and then also for your cost with Performance Tracker, because it will save you money to go completely digital. So those are some things that you're going to hear me continue to drill into your minds if you ever have a training session with me one-on-one. But just really congratulations on these improvements this year. I was so impressed when I pulled some of this data. And if you guys are in an organization that have over 30%, you should really just congratulate your teams and really make sure that they know this statistic. Make sure that they know that it's been like herding cats trying to get everybody to get a higher than 30% response rate. So if they're well over that, then they really deserve their flowers on that, is what I was trying to say. So innovation in 2024, these are some new features that were brought to the dashboard this year, that you guys might not be aware of, depending on, how much of the communication you receive via email, how often you and I talk, or how often you speak with Allie, our director. She communicates a lot of this to clients as well. But we do now have a lead generation module. So it's actually depicted right here at the bottom. It's essentially like our lead source graph that we have in the dashboard, but it shows you the breakdown of all of your leads. Now, this can be found at the very bottom of your executive summary tab for executive users. If you are a location manager user or an arranger user, you will not be able to see this graphic. It's only for executive level insights. So just scroll to the very bottom of your executive summary role, and that's where you'll be able to find that chart. Response rate rankers. So these were released to executive level users, and for some organizations, we did release it to location manager users. I believe, Parkland Corporation, they have so many, such a high breakdown of teams that they have, regional users and area providers and stuff. So they are definitely included in those location manager roles for some of their users. But if you have a question about the response rate rankers, where to find them, what to do with them, please reach out to me. I will say in most user roles, they are located under the survey performance, and then whatever segment you're in. So if you're funeral, cemetery, or cremation, and then you scroll down, you'll see your rankers. But in other roles, it is different. We kind of tailored that to company specific areas. So reach out to me or support if you ever have any questions on that. The invitations list. So this is something that was in high demand for a long time, and it's now available to you guys. It's under your survey performance tabs, and then you'll see a sub tab now called invitations list. That's going to be a tracker for all of the survey invitations that went out, not just the survey responses that were received. So that invitation list is kind of gold in terms of like following up with families about the survey. Now, I will say I have some organizations that are almost a little bit too intrusive about the survey when they are talking to their families. They kind of cross that line in terms of follow-up. We on our team already send follow-ups for your survey. Most of you are aware of that, but there's the initial email invite that goes out. There's 2 email reminders, and then there's 1 text message reminder that goes out. And those only happen if the survey is not completed. We do not contact your families again after the survey is already complete. But and then if all of those digital options fail, some organizations have paper surveys enabled, and that's another touch point. So it's a lot of reminders that go out to families. We certainly want to be respectful of their grieving process, and we don't want to overstep. A lot of organizations also have like pre-need sales teams reaching out, and aftercare reaching out for feedback. So that's a lot of communication for families, and sometimes they just want the space and the respect that they deserve. So using the invitation list for reaching out to families again can be a little tricky, but at least the information's in front of you. You can see, hey, the survey was delivered successfully. The email did not bounce. The phone number was working properly. They received the survey, and if they complete it, then great. And if not, then it's disappointing. But at least we tried, and at least we know it was successfully delivered. The testimonial filter. So many of you know there is a question on the survey that asks if the family is willing to allow their survey response to be used as a testimonial, which is really an awesome opportunity for your marketing efforts that you guys have in your organizations. You can put those testimonials on your website or at the physical property and display them. And whatever you want to use those comments for. We now have a filter in the dashboard to show that testimonial filter. That one's a little bit more difficult to describe where it is. So I'm going to go ahead and log into the platform and show you guys where it is really quick. Just because we've never really gone over this feature on any of my calls, at least, unless I have an individual training with your organization. So here I'm going to go ahead and filter to Jake's company here in Phoenix, which is Mankey Funeral Home. Now, if I am looking at the survey performance and response list, I go right in to this tab, and you'll see my filter is already popped out, but if I need to pop it out, I'll just click on this bar here. I go to additional filters, and then we have our testimonial approved option here now at the bottom. Now, if we say if testimonial is approved and we go yes, and we run that filter, this list of survey responses is going to be all of the ones that approved their responses for testimonial sharing. So all of these are positive comments. That's awesome. You guys can share those to your heart's content and in your marketing efforts, which is, it's always really great. So just be aware that that filter is available there. And remember, you always have to hit run in order to apply the filter to the page. And if you have any questions or have any trouble replicating what I just did there, let me know, reach out to our support team, and we can definitely help you with that. Going back to our presentation here, partially completed surveys. Many of you are aware and have seen the communications come out from Allison, our director here. But partially completed surveys are now a thing, and they are now rolled up into your reporting. So for example, if a family clicks to start the email survey, let's say they click on a 9 on their net promoter scale from the body of their email, and the survey starts because that's how it triggers a survey to start. But they don't have the time to complete the survey right now, or they click it and then they're like, hey, actually, I don't want to do this. Let's just leave it. And they abandon the survey. We still record that net promoter score or however many questions they got through as a partially completed survey after 15 days. So after 15 days of it starting, if it's not touched again, then it does automatically close out, and we record that record for completion. That way you can have that score. It does help your response rate. It does help your scores overall, especially if people are clicking on those positive net promoter scores, right? And then you can always reach out to families, if you do have pre-need sales efforts and you want to reach out to them, and you can be like, hey, well, they did have a positive experience here. They at least left a net promoter score. So it should be safe to reach out to them for something else. You can definitely use that as an aid. So if you guys are ever seeing survey responses come through or alerts to your email boxes that are not fully completed surveys, that's going to be why, because it's that 15-day closeout period has gone through. Engagement features, like I already went through, we had our response rate improvement initiative that will continue into next year for the lower performing organizations. Like I said, there's only 15 left that are below that 30% threshold. So if you're in that 15, I will be bothering you next year. You're welcome. But if not, congratulations. You don't have to hear from me as often. And then, of course, this webinar series that we've been doing monthly, this will continue into next year as well. We have some really exciting ideas that just came from our business consulting team, as well as Jake Johnson, for how we can continue to expand what we're doing here. Today is an exception. We have that 60 minutes block today, but normally this is only a 30-minute session. So we want to get you guys as much information as we can in that little amount of time. And it's just a nice way to keep y'all engaged in Performance Tracker and keep new information rolling out to you. So we will definitely be continuing this next year. Now let's jump into the new feature and the changes in the login process that you can see. So there are a few slides here of screenshots just so you all have the ability to come back to the slide deck and view this information after the fact. But for purposes of our preview today, I'm actually going to log out of the platform right now and log into the test platform so you can all see the new feature. So this screen should not be unfamiliar to any of you. This is the login screen for Medallia. What should be unfamiliar to you is this button that says login with SSO. This is feature and how you start the portal login process. So all of your teams, whoever needs to access the global account management feature of managing user alerts, of managing locations, of making any back end changes into your organizations, you're going to have to log in with this SSO. And then you're going to be brought to this screen to actually log into your account. So here, let me get my test login info so I don't use my information, because that's not going to help anyone right now since it's still in testing. Also, while I'm at it, just so you guys are aware, this is going to launch at the beginning of January. We were originally shooting for the first week of January, but we thought that might be a little overwhelming with the new year and the fact that New Year's Day falls on a Wednesday. That kind of cuts us short with just those 2 days. So we're going to be rolling it out. And when I say rolling it out, it is actually, once we trigger the button, it affects all companies. So it's not going to be like, oh, some people are going to get it first. Everyone gets it at the same time. So it might be a little overwhelming to you guys, to our support team. We just want to make it as smooth as possible. Now you saw I logged in. I was brought to my dashboard first. If you're an executive and you log in, you know that the first thing you see here is your executive summary tab. What you're going to see now is one of the tabs called My Account Details. That's not something that existed before this rollout. If you were to log into your account today, you would not see this tab here because, like I said, this is not live yet in the system. But this is how you're going to get to your global account management. So this is a really great description of what the system does. Just with global account management, you gain the power to oversee various roles within your team, including company administrators, regional managers, location managers, and arrangers. Moreover, you can conveniently handle your account details through a user-friendly interface, streamlining your management tasks into one centralized hub. That's really what this system is built to do. It's really just meant to be an admin view of everything and give you guys the power to make changes. Now, one of the really nice things about this new system is that it will enable you to see the sales reports that were built for Performance Tracker Enterprise. Sorry, again, this is test subject. So let me see here. We're going to proceed. Here we go. So all of these reports, the PDF reports that are on the sales side for Performance Tracker. If you currently work with one of our business consultants at Johnson Consulting Group for your incentive compensation plan program, for example, then you are no stranger to these reports. This is what our business consulting team uses on a quarterly basis to make recommendations to your organization from the sales perspective. So you can download any of these reports if you just click on the one that you want and then fill out the stipulations. It will generate the report as a PDF. And it shows you all of the reports that you have access to from our enterprise system. But what's really exciting about this is you don't have to log into your enterprise system anymore because of the single sign-on to the platform. So this enables you to have all of those reports from our old system, accessing them through the new system of Medallia. So that's something that's really exciting too. Now, one of the things that I always like to recommend to people, and this is something I do to this day, regardless if they log into both systems or not, is if you're going to log in and use the old system sales reports, I highly recommend you don't use the contract analysis or the sales reports that are available in Medallia. Again, this is a test file, so there's not actual properties associated with this dashboard, and that's why it's blank. But if you're going to log in and use the sales reports in Medallia, only use the ones in Medallia. If you're going to log in and use the sales reports on the PDF side, only use the PDF reports. And the reason being is because they are based on different date ranges. So that's very intentional the way it's done. It's based on, reporting date or response date or contract date. If your business consultant is using the PDF sales reports, those are the ones that you guys want to receive. That way the information mirrors when you have your meetings with your business consultant, and the cutoff dates are the same. Whereas in the dashboard, it's like a live feed of the data, and the cutoff dates are very different. So the numbers might differentiate between the two reports, and you should really only stick to using one system or the other for the sales reporting. Now, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and go back to our slide deck here. Now, actually, let me jump over to the chat and see if anyone has any questions. I know I just went over a lot of information. Oh, Leanne, your screen was still. Oh, did you guys not see any of the account details that I just went through? Yeah, let's see. Okay, did you guys see this screen of what I went through? Anyone? It never switched. Oh no. Okay. I am going to redo that right now then and walk you guys through it. And I will cut that out of the recording before we send that out. I'm so sorry that happened, and that was my bad for not making sure that the screen was switched. I'm so sorry, you guys. So this is the location management button I was talking about. This is kind of our navigation screen for getting around the global account management area. But this is what you are directed to when you hit that global account management button. If you select location management, then you are brought into managing your locations. So you can add a new location or edit an existing location. Here's what you'll see if it's active or deactivated. Now, I will say if it's deactivated, I still recommend you keep it in here and not delete the location in its entirety, because you want that historical data still to show up in your dashboard. So that's something I didn't mention when I was originally going over this and not sharing my screen to the right screen. I'm so sorry, you guys. But if you click into the location details, this is where you'll see that public name, the mailing name, and then the location billing name that I was referring to. So just making sure that each name is represented properly. If you don't have the ability or you don't want to edit this, you don't have to. I think we have this enabled for some users and not for others. Like we don't want to necessarily provide someone the ability to change their billing name, because that might mess up on our billing side then. So it just depends on your user role and what you have access to in here. These are the business classifications that I mentioned. So again, this is how all of our benchmarking is established and how you can see yourself against the other organizations. So it is important that you enter proper, or I guess accurate information in here. Again, don't worry about the call volume too much, because we do manually audit that on our end at the end of every year. And then the location specific social media accounts. So this is where you would enter that Google Business ID. Again, if you would like us to find that for you, we absolutely can. Or I can show you how to find that. I have a link that I can send you on how to find your Google Business ID. I actually shared it in the last Tea Time with Taylor. So if you guys have any questions, you can revisit that tea time or just reach out to me. And when I say reach out to me, I recommend reaching out to support just in case I'm not available to answer your question right away. Another member of our team can help you as well. So going under users, same thing. If you want to add a user or display an active users, if you want to see anyone that was deactivated in the system, you can select that. Or edit a active user that's in the system. This is an arranger, for example. So they only have access to one location in the system. If I want to give them access to more, then I can. Now, something that's really important to note, if you guys, most of you have an automatic way that your data is coming over to us, whether that be through your point of sale system or you have an automatic email push report going out to us. Now, if you have a new arranger added in that data, we will automatically add that arranger into the system just naturally. But something that's really important to point out about that is not every arranger that gets added into the system for reporting has immediate access to the dashboard or gets a login, because their email address doesn't come over in that data. So if you want to add an arranger to the system, you're going to have to come in and add their email address or reach out to us and we can do that for you. But again, the system kind of alleviates the need for you guys to reach out on everything, and you do have the power to do that yourselves now. And then whatever location that they have cases at, that could be like 1 or 5, right? Depending on the organization and the way funeral directors operate. They if they hop back and forth between locations, they will all show up as long as their cases are uploaded into Performance Tracker. So all of that is automated and will automatically update on its own. The only thing you guys need to worry about is getting your email address inputted. Now for the alerts, like I was saying before, if you want to change alerts, you can definitely do so, but it will take one business day for that to apply to the system. So if I select a tractor new here and I save details, it will update, just not that same day. It updates at midnight overnight every day. So that's and that applies to weekends too, because we have an automatic file that goes through for alerts. So if you make an update on Saturday, it will apply on Sunday. You don't have to wait until Monday, the next business day. And then going into my profile, you can see Cali company admin here is the name, and then my email address. If I want to change my password, I can definitely do that here. And then all of my individual alert preferences are available as well. Now, again, I did log in as a executive level user. So just know that if you guys decide to have arrangers making their account detail changes, they can only see their individual results. They do not have all of these options here. All they have is my profile, and then they can make alert changes for themselves. I believe on some organizations, we actually have it so they can't make their own alert updates because that's what the organization preferred. So again, the details and all of that will be rolled out to you guys a lot more specifically and a lot more eloquently than how I just worded that for you. But it's going to be coming out this month. All you guys are going to receive a lot of training material, including short learning management videos to help you and your teams with the login process and really navigating through the platform. And then next month, January, probably the second week of January is when the system will go live. Again, you will have plenty of notice. We'll send out plenty of emails, both from Allison and myself, to communicate all of that. But just so you guys are aware, that new feature is coming, and I'm very excited for it. And I know a lot of organizations have been asking for the ability to manage their own users. So we're really happy to finally be able to bring this to you guys. Now, if someone could answer the question in the chat for me, did you guys get a chance to see the sales reporting that I showed or no? Okay, good. Thank you, Ellie. Okay, so again, these are just some screenshots in here for you to be able to reference back when you look in the slide deck and when you have the slide deck downloaded. But it was really important for me to be able to go through that preview in the live system for you today. So thank you guys for sitting through that. I'm so sorry you had to hear me talk about it twice and only got to see it once. I'll definitely cut that out when we're doing the recording. Coming in 2025. So this is really something that you guys can be looking forward to, what's coming to you next year. This is definitely not all encompassing. It's just the things that, I'm permitted to share with you at this very moment in time. We have other big things coming too, but, those are still a little bit further away within, probably like Q3 or Q4 of next year. But at the beginning of next year, this is really what you can expect. So the 2024 Excellence in Customer Service Awards. Every year we bring these awards to you guys when we have our list of announcements, of who are big winners. We have 15 winners in each sizing category, and there's 3 sizing categories, all based on call volume. So you can expect those results at the end of Q1 2025. We always try and get those out to you guys by the end of March, and the actual physical awards will be mailed to the winners around that time as well. So if you guys are wondering about your eligibility, if you want to see a list of the requirements again, please reach out to me. Like I said at the beginning of the presentation, one of the big requirements is at least a 30% response rate. And that is at the location level, not the company level. So you need at least a 30% response rate at every location that you want to be considered eligible for winning. So just keep that in mind as you go throughout the year and as we enter into Q1. Really quick, I'm going to jump down here. So speaking of the Excellence in Customer Service Awards all year long, we are going to be able to bring a report to you guys that has live updates of where you're standing in the performance tracker awards. You're not going to have to wait to see them when we announce it every March. You guys are going to get to see that all throughout the year. We really wanted to bring this to you to encourage healthy competition within organizations, really get you guys excited about the awards a little bit more, get your teams excited about how they're performing. If we gamify this whole idea of customer experience, it's only going to motivate your teams more to bring better customer service to your families. And especially if they get a beautiful, glass trophy at the end of the year, that's really going to, or I guess at the beginning of each year, that's really going to keep motivating them to keep doing what they're doing and to continue to improve always. So I'm really excited to bring you that live ranker. That's probably going to come within the first couple of quarters next year. Now going back up here really quick, I do want to really push you guys to consider going completely digital in your surveys. Now, there's a bit of a process for going digital. What I like to do with organizations before, unchecking that button of paper surveys is making sure that they do collect enough emails and mobile numbers, and that their email and mobile number collection rates are at least, 75% is usually what I like to say. I would love for it to be, much higher than that. But definitely don't consider cutting off paper until then. However, it is going to save you money if you cut off paper. So next year, due to the rising costs of postage and labor costs with our paper providers, we are having to increase the price of paper surveys from $2 per survey to, and I guess say an additional $2 per survey to an additional $3 per survey. So it is going to be going up $1 per paper survey that goes out. And the way that you can alleviate this from your organization, again, is going completely digital, and then you don't have to worry about paper costs. If that's not an option for you guys, if you're still heavily reliant on paper, you're definitely going to be hearing from our team. Our director, Ali, is communicating with a lot of people right now as well about this. But if you're looking for some support from me or my team on how you can increase those email rates and those mobile number rates to go digital, please reach out to me. Do not hesitate to do so. That's what I'm here for. And I would love to help you guys move into that digital way of doing things. Now, another new feature that is coming is some more advanced benchmarking. As you guys probably know, in your dashboard right now, you have benchmarking available to you within the results scorecard, or I refer to it as a report card a lot of times in my trainings. So you can see global benchmarking against your location. Now, we want to be able to drill it down further than that, right? We want to drill it down to the regional level or the state level, or even within, the marketplace size, and you can do that in your dashboard. So those are things that we're going to be bringing to you more detailed industry-wide benchmarking, which is really exciting. Then we are going to be bringing email push reports to you guys as well. So instead of having to, especially as an executive user, which many of you are, instead of having to log into your dashboard every month, however often you're doing it, you can receive an email that has all of your survey stats in one little graphic, so you can see it all in one place. And we can send that out to you, your location managers, everyone on your team. That way they're aware of company progress and they don't have to log into their dashboard. Now, personally for me, as the engagement manager, I do want to encourage you guys to still be logging into your dashboards and to not become reliant on these email push reports. But we do understand the convenience of this kind of reporting, especially for busy executives like yourself. So definitely excited to bring those to you guys. And we'll obviously I'll let you know on the date for those once we have it. But we're really excited to be bringing that information to you. And like I said, more feature announcements are to come your way at the beginning of next year. One little final tidbit: we do have our new product I mentioned the last couple of tea times, called our SMS aftercare platform. So you can communicate with families via text message after their services, and just touch base with them. Use it for a pre-need sales tool. Use it for a social review tool to try and get a new social review from the family. If you're interested in that platform, please let me know and we can get you a demo. Now some resources and holiday hours, then I'll open it up for Q&A and I'll jump back over to the screen to see what more questions we have. Same resources that are always available to you guys are definitely available to you, especially during the holiday season. Just something to note is our holiday office closures that are upcoming. And I tried to be very representative of all the holidays that we've got in December here. But just note that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of Christmas week and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of New Year's week, we will be closed. All of your support tickets will still be received and responded to when business hours resume. And please note that we're usually checking in on them anyways. So if there's something that's really urgent, if your system is totally, so let's see something totally completely breaks, we are here for you still, and we will definitely jump on that. But if it's a standard support ticket, just know that we'll reach back out to you when business hours resume. Excuse me. Now I'm going to go ahead and open it up for any questions, mostly because my voice is giving out. And let me see if we've got anything in the Q&A area. Alrighty, guys. Well, I'm going to stop the recording just so it doesn't run over too much. I'm going to stay here in this chat window if anyone submits a question. For those of you who joined today, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. For anyone watching the recording, thank you so much for taking the time to do that as well. I'm really excited to bring all of you guys this new feature. And I hope you all have a great afternoon.